Hi. I just wanted to take a second and just talk about, where I am this week with my grief, with my feelings, with, kind of processing through losing Declan. And just wanted to kind of shed some light on what grief looks like at 7 years, I guess. It's been a really hard week. It's actually been a really hard last couple weeks. Just the feeling of unfairness and anger that creeps in because I don't have Declan. I've been trying to process through, lean into my grief, everything that I kind of say to do. And I feel like I'm still just really struggling with it. I feel heartbroken. I feel immense sadness. I feel, anger at that he's not here and that this happened to me. And I've been reading a lot. I've been doing a lot of reading and self-reflecting and trying to figure out just, what the next steps are and how do you keep moving forward in grief and how do you, not let it consume you. And, to somebody who hasn't lost a child, that might seem weird to think that we're 7 years out. And yet I still feel consumed by that. I still feel consumed by sadness. And you might think that ends, and it hasn't. It hasn't for me anyway. I don't see it ending. I actually even decided I needed to maybe start talking to somebody outside of myself, and to connect with somebody to help me. I feel like I've leaned into my grief. I've been present in it. I've talked about it. I wrote about it. I've done a lot of things about it. But as probably you, I've expected it to get better, easier. And I just feel like it's just not. So, I went to talk to somebody about that and just say, I'm just confused as to how I get through the next step. How do I get over, kind of this hump that, that is happening to me? How do I move forward? And she didn't have any answers, obviously, either. But, it was interesting to listen to her perspective. And one thing that she talked about that I thought was probably a really real insight that I had not thought about was, with Courtland coming up to, going to be 10, she's 9, and Noah being 13, almost 14, I'm really losing a lot of the little kid stage of life. And there's just some finality in that because I don't have Declan coming up to do, those little kid things. And so there's a lot of sadness, I guess, with losing, the little kid stage of life. And, and I feel like, I just feel like I've been trying to hold on to little kid stuff because that's where Declan would be, is little kid things. And, and we're moving past that. We're moving into, Courtland will be 10 soon. And, that's just been really hard, I guess, to kind of take. And, the word that she uses is finality and coming to terms with that. And that's been hard. And, also trying to come to terms with not having more kids or deciding whether we wanted more kids, and really going back and forth on, would that fill the discontentment that I kind of suffer from, or would that just make it even more evident or more apparent in my life that, Declan isn't here? And so this week is hard. It's really hard. It's kind of kicking my butt. And I've had a level of anxiety that I haven't had in a long time that I'm not used to. And so there's a lot of processing through the literally physical symptoms of grief that come with, the anxiety and then that sadness, physically getting ill, as a result. And, I don't know, I guess I kind of thought I would probably be better at 7 years. I don't know why. I guess I don't know why I thought that. I just did. And so, let's be real too, the weather isn't helping at all. And just being kind of constantly stuck under the gray clouds and the snow has been hard. But I guess I wanted to share that it's hard. I'm having a hard time. It's going to be okay. It will be. We're working through that, I guess. And, but in case any mom watches this and wonders, any mom new to grief watches this and wonders, what's 7 years going to be like? One, you can't even imagine 7 years when you're fresh in grief. That sounds impossible. And then when you're not fresh in grief anymore, it's impossible that it's 7 years. I'm still reeling from the fact that it's 7 years. This happened to us 7 years ago. And we've lived 7 years, without him. And it's hard. It's hard for me to really comprehend what that all means for me, what that means for our family, and, how to live with that, I guess, is a tough one, and how to just be, okay. And maybe okay is not the right word, but how to I don't know what I'm trying to say, just how to own that, how to make that part of our life something that isn't something that we push aside. And that's, I suppose, what I've been finding myself doing for the last couple of years is saying, to myself, if a song comes on the radio that is something that reminds me of Declan, of saying, no, I just don't have time to be sad right now, and click, change the station. Or, hearing a story that's sad that has something to do with, a child passing away, and I just, no, don't have time for that. Change the station, or change, to something else. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to go down that road. I don't have time to be sad. And so, that was something that I also decided to reach out and talk to somebody about, because I'm fearful that I'm pushing, and I don't want to do that today. Don't have time for that today. Push it aside, push it aside, push it aside. And then I get what I have going on right now, which is just a lot of, like I said, sadness and anxiety and, physical symptoms that frankly, I don't have time for that. So, that is probably just the brutal, honest truth, is that my heart is still broken. I'm still really sad. I would still like the story to be different, but it isn't. And so, trying to come to terms with that and just accept what it is and rise above and be better and not bitter. And I don't share that easily, because I feel like at this point in the grief journey, people don't necessarily want to hear that. And I don't necessarily enjoy being vulnerable. And so telling people that it's hard is hard for me. And
I don't like to admit that I can't do it by myself. So that's what 7 years out looks like for me. It might look different for somebody else. It probably does. But I'd be gentle, I guess. If you're a grieving mom, be gentle with yourself and allow yourself permission to feel what you feel. And, I've always been told to lean into it, and I think I have. And I've, trying my hardest for the kids and for myself to, work through it and, process all of it. And it's harder some days than others. And I think we're doing a decent job, and it just sometimes it's hard. I don't know when that gets better, and maybe it's always sometimes hard. So anyway, we're doing our normal routine on Valentine's Day. We're giving some treats to some well-deserved police officers and ambulance workers, and then going to the Ronald McDonald House and serving some meals to some families who are, fighting for their children's lives, and just hoping that we can make a small impact on their lives to show, Declan's light and to shine his spirit on others. And, I'm hoping that others will do something similar and, go out and do random acts of kindness on Valentine's Day for him, to just show that his presence here is strong, and that his short time mattered and it made a difference. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. So have a great day.